times. Act like you have. This is called Bluefield, Light of the World. I've never heard Bluefield referred to as the light of the world, but I cannot imagine a city that has a greater claim to this name. Over the last century, Bluefield and the surrounding areas have mined some of the best burning coal in existence and shipped it nationally and internationally. We were the fuel that fed the Industrial Revolution and the wind that blew the sails of our warships during the World Wars. We built Pittsburgh and the entire steel industry and in turn the tallest buildings in the world. Our coal and natural gas has been used to turn lights on in nearly every nation on earth. When you see the famous nighttime cityscapes of New York, London, Paris, or Hong Kong, you're very likely seeing power that's clawed out of the ground by an Appalachian miner. Some of the toughest men and women that I've ever known. The only thing stronger than our miners is our faith, and our mountains are adorned with steeples proclaiming the true light of the world. People moved to this area because of a promise that hard work was rewarded here. African Americans and immigrants from Italy, Scotland, Ireland, and countless other countries made these mountains their homes. They came with hopes and dreams. Bluefield quickly grew into a bustling city known to some as Little New York. The future seemed as bright as the great lights that would power it. Charlotte's Web is a metaphor for the power that words have to shape us. Karen Swallow Prior, in book, Literature and the Soul of Me, shows how the words special, terrific, and radiant worked to change people's opinion of Wilbur and ultimately save his life. As people came to see the beautiful words spun in the web, they began to see Wilbur as something special. Beyond that, it changed how Wilbur saw himself. Though at first he protested that he did not fit the description of terrific, he soon internalized the words. And when Charlotte doubted his radiance, he proclaimed that he felt radiant. Many people try to explain the change of fortune in our area. Population has decreased. Good paying jobs are hard to come by. Some people blame the economy, some blame the government, and others blame drugs or the doctors that prescribe them. I propose that the reason there are few jobs here after coal is the same reason for the drug epidemic. In the words of G.K. Chesterton, that which leads to poverty is the same thing which leads to drink, the absence of dignity, the absence of an instinct that resists degradation. We've allowed our culture to negatively stereotype our area, worse yet, we've believed the lies. The lies that we're of less value, that we are slow of speech and mind, that we're a joke. We believe that there's no future in these mountains. We have been shamed. This isn't new. If we believed in the value of our communities, then why did we allow our coal to build industries and infrastructure in Pittsburgh and around the world, but not here? Why, when we were pulling wealth out of the earth, did we agree to one-sided deals that gave us just enough to survive and did nothing to secure a strong future? Why did we allow our fathers to be used as cheap tools and thrown away when they were broke? And then allow pharmaceutical companies to prey upon them because of their good insurance with legal heroin? Why have we always encouraged our best and our brightest to leave? I believe it's because we never really felt we were worth it. We were just immigrants. We were just laborers. We are grasshoppers in our own mind. It's always amazed me that we have believed these lies. You see, we've inherited something more valuable than money. Our birthright is beauty.
Yeah.
My view when I wake in the morning is greater than the works of art hanging in the metropolitan museums. I find it strange that our culture has awakened to these truths before my neighbors. Tourism is on the rise for good reason. We're home to incredible hiking, fishing, hunting. For the extreme sports enthusiast, our area offers mountain climbing, spelunking, snowboarding, Class 5 whitewater rapids. Our ATV trails are drawing thousands of visitors, and thanks to Back of the Dragon, people have begun to come from around the world to just drive our roads. As John of the Mountain famously said, thousands of tired, nerve-shaken, over-civilized people are beginning to find out going to the mountains is going home. That wilderness is a necessity. These beautiful mountains are our rich inheritance. Countless people are hearing their call and coming to share the beauty, peace, and healing found in their shadows. We are the envy of young professionals who work out every day by pretending to climb mountains and row boats. Our childhood adventures are the dreams of the urban elites. Our typical Saturday is their once-in-a-lifetime adventure. They see our beauty because we're a city on a mountain that cannot be hidden. We are the light of the world. Karen Swallow-Pryor points out that the power of giving something its proper name in turn empowers it to become the name that it's been called. I believe it's time that we speak a new name over our area, a name that recognizes the beauty and the worth of our home, a name that restores dignity and erases shame. John F. Kennedy believed that human dignity was the source of purpose. I believe purpose could eradicate poverty. That dreams are stronger than drugs. We need to determine to stay, to build, to fight for the future our fathers gave their lives for. We need to refuse to be degraded any longer. We need to take pride in these mountains and the legacy of our ancestors. Though it seems dark, we need to proclaim light.
Amen.
Then maybe, just maybe, we'll quit doubting your worth and see that, like Wilbur, these mountains and her people are really pretty special, terrific, and radiant. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming to Bluefield. I believe you're here for a reason. You light up this city when you're here. And I believe the city can light up you. I wrote that it sometimes feels like a widow here because the Bible, the same word for widow means a woman who was left. It can also mean a city that was left. A city that the people had left. But you know, in the world, the widow is the one that you would think was in the worst spot. But it's so wild in the Bible that it was almost like every time they needed a miracle, she was the one that had it. It was the widow whose kids raised from the dead. It was the widow who taught the others how to live. It was the widow that when everybody else was starving, she never ran out. And so I thank you for coming, but I don't just thank you for coming to give. I want you to come and receive from the widow. Because I think there's something pretty awesome that we have. And I just want you to open your eyes. I want you to slow down. I want you to walk the streets. I want you to enjoy what makes Bluefield so special to me. The theme this year is in between us. The idea of living between cultures, almost feeling like you don't fit anywhere. We brought in speakers that know that feeling well. Living amongst different cultures. The idea came to me when I was reading Dr. Gonzalez's book, The Mestizo Augustine. And he said in the book that the idea of mestizo, which meant like mixed race, it was a denigrating term. But he said that I found that the ability to speak into two cultures is actually a seedbed of creativity. That if we can look past the terminology that they try to place upon us and recognize the gift that we've been given, then we can be a voice to the world. And all the people we brought this year represent that in-betweenness. And I hope that you learn from the in-betweenness. Many of you have already sent me emails and told me about your story and the places of in-betweenness that you've inhabited. We are beyond blessed to have our keynote speaker this year as Daniel Nair. I don't know if you have read his book. How many of y'all have read Daniel's books? Wow, hands all over the room. Such an incredible story. I surprised him with a large version of his newest book that just won the Newbery Award. This was made by a high school senior here in Bluefield, West Virginia.
Oh, wow. you.